What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video, and today we finally have over 500 miles on the TRX, and that means the launch control button works. So I had to lie to my wife and tell her that we were going to go to Bed Bath & Beyond to, buy some new towels, but really I wanted to get her reaction out here for the first time using launch control, because I haven't got to use it either. So it'll be both of our first experiences with launch control. Now, I'm kind of worried she's not going to be very impressed. It's just going to be, accelerating very quickly. And her being a Toyota Prius owner, this is about the most anti-Toyota Prius thing we could do, because we're just killing trees, we're killing fuel, we're just killing the earth here. But I thought it would be interesting to have both of us in it, hit launch control for the first time, and see what happens. So let's jump in the truck. I'll do a quick little walkthrough on how you start launch control, what buttons you push, and then we will actually do it. So let's go. So here is the setup for using launch control. Now, most guys are saying that the sport mode obviously results in the best 0 to 60 time, best transmission shifting, all of that. Now, you can also go into race options, and that's where you can change your RPM for your launch control. You can also turn on and off shift lights and turn on and off race cool down mode. But like I said, once you get your RPM set, you've got your drive mode in sport. You're going to come down to the buttons and hit launch. And that pulls up this screen on your instrument cluster that is telling you vehicle needs to be at 0 miles an hour. It needs to be on level ground. The steering wheel needs to be straight, because if we turn the wheel, it comes up and yells at us. And also it needs to be in drive. And then once we're in drive, it tells us to apply brake pressure, and it's got this little graph showing us how much brake pressure we've got applied. You then apply full throttle and step off the brake pedal as quickly as possible. All right, guys, so we are in sport mode and we have hit the launch control button. So now it wants us to apply firm brake pressure. So we are standing on the brakes as hard as we can, and we're gonna put our foot all the way on the floor, and then we're gonna let off the brake and see what happens. I don't know. That was a little disappointing. Now, supposedly, guys are finding that you can leave quicker or launch quicker if you don't use launch control and just use the brake. So I guess we're gonna turn around and try that. Yeah, that was disappointing. It didn't really do anything. Yeah, that sucked. Huh. All right, guys, so this time, instead of launch control, because we were both really disappointed with that, like I said, supposedly guys are finding if you just hold the brakes, roll the RPM up to like 1500, sidestep the brake, and it accelerates quicker. So I guess we will see how that works here. So we're gonna bring it up to 1500. Okay, that worked a lot better. Oh my gosh. Okay, so either we messed up launch control or yeah, sidestepping the brake works 100% better than that. But it still wasn't too outrageous. Yes, I know it's 700 horsepower, but it is still a 7,000 pound pickup truck. All right, guys, we are going to do another. Well, actually, let's do launch control again, but we are gonna I had the launch RPM set at 3,500, and maybe that's just too much to achieve. So we're gonna back it down to like 1,600 RPM, because that's kind of where I had the RPMs at when I was just standing on the brake. So we're gonna activate launch control. We're gonna apply brake pressure, go full throttle. Oh gosh, okay. That worked considerably better. And you were up to 70 miles an hour very, very quickly. So I had originally set the launch control RPM up at like 3,500 RPM because you want all the RPM. You don't want half the RPM. So I assumed that was going to be the most violent launch, but I either wasn't able to hold the 3,500 RPM with the brakes, but a lower RPM seems to be considerably better. And again, you get the same, I believe it was like torque reserve that the Demons originally got when you hold your RPM and you hear the engine kind of burble and hesitate. It's sitting there right at your launch RPM ready to go, and it kind of sounds cool. So one more time just for good measure here. Okay, yes, lower RPM launch seems to be the winner. All right, guys, well, for you other TRX owners out there, you'll have to let me know how the higher RPM launch control works for you, because at least in my case, we were relatively disappointed in the launch. But once we dropped it back down to that 1,600 RPM launch, it definitely put us back in the seats a heck of a lot harder than that higher launch RPM. Now, like I said, I may have not had the pedal pushed all the way, but for some reason that high RPM launch just bogged down and then took off. But that low RPM, like I said, pushed us back in the seats and definitely made a almost 7,000 pound truck move extremely well. So again, this is one of the other features that makes the TRX so versatile, because if you do need to get to Bed Bath & Beyond, you can get there very, very quickly. And if there's somebody in the other lane that's trying to get there before you, you're gonna be able to get there much, much quicker. So guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.